Are you excited to come out to meet the world? Yeah? Welcome back to my channel! Woo! So, today it's gonna be a video about, it's gonna be a story time about when I was pregnant with Emery. Yeah! So let's get started. So yeah, let's rewind back 2010 when Bae and I met. Just gonna sum it up for you guys. In high school, he was a senior, I was a freshman. We basically dated almost all of my high school. We started dating in 10th grade. In my 10th grade, and then senior year, I decided to move out with him because I had really strict parents. You know how Spanish parents are, like really strict. They don't allow their daughters to do anything, yada yada yada. So as soon as I turned 18 on my birthday, January 22nd of 2013, I seriously packed all my stuff and I left. I moved in with my boyfriend. We moved into a basement that we found on Craigslist, and we were there for a year, and then we moved in with his mom after that for another 2 years, and then it became 2015, and on 2015, on July 2015, we got our own apartment, and when we got our apartment is when we were really financially well. Like, he was working full-time, I was working full-time, we were making really good income. And I don't know, I just think God works in mysterious ways. Like, I'm not saying I wanted a kid when I was living in little bedrooms, but we were living in the bedrooms. We just used condoms. I was never on birth control because my parents never talked to me about that. Like, they never told me anything about birth controls. I didn't know anything of it. So yeah, but anyways, as soon as we got into our apartment, we moved into our apartment. I kid you not, 2 months after that, I found out I was pregnant. I just think it's weird, like, just God works in mysterious ways. For example, as soon as we got money, we were financially stable, we were able to finance ourselves, like, we had a baby, like, it was just crazy, and I was really happy to have a baby. I found out I was pregnant in September of 2015. It was hilarious how I found out I was pregnant. I had for the first 3 months of my pregnancy, it was the worst. The worst pregnancy I could have, like, the worst pregnancy. Like, I would throw up, I was nauseous, I did not eat for days. Like, that's where I was really worried, and Brian was worried too. Like, I never wanted to eat anything, like anything. It was just so bad. Like, I did not want to eat anything. I would get nauseous really bad, like, just throw up everything. And, like, for example, Brian works at a restaurant, and his food, the place smells so good. Like, the food there is so good, so he comes out smelling so good. Like, in the beginning, before I was pregnant, I would be like, you smell so good, you smell really good. But when I got pregnant, his smell made me so nauseous that I would have to open all the windows of the car. I'd be like, hey, oh my god, this is disgusting. Like, he would just, like, have to be far away. But anyways, like, we went to the CVS to buy a pregnancy test. It was like, I believe it's the first response. It was just like the purple pregnancy test, and as soon as, like, we went home, as soon as we got that, we went home, we rushed home, and I was sitting, I peed in the stick, and then Brian was just standing right next to me, so I was in the toilet, I was, like, sitting in the toilet, and he was just standing up right next to the tub, which is right here. And the first test that I took was blurry. Like, I didn't really notice if it was a plus. It had a line, and it says like if it has a line, you're not pregnant. But there was like this line that like this, but you couldn't see it at all. Like you really couldn't see. I was like, eh. And at that time, I was texting Brian's sister. Her name is Yamel. I was texting Yamel, and I sent her a picture. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, can you tell? She's like, no, I can't tell. And I took a picture with flash, and she couldn't tell. So I took the other test. It was a little more. It was more positive, and I was like, it was more obvious. And then Brian takes the stick, and he goes like, he sits on the tub. He's like, no, like no, this can't be. Like, oh my god, it's crazy. We gotta. He was still unsure. He was still unsure. So the next day was on Friday. I went to the dollar store with Yamel. So we got 7 pregnancy tests. Like, I kid you not, 7 pregnancy tests. And I took all of them. And it was, like, I didn't even have to wait, like, the 2 minutes that the instructions tell you. Like, wait 2 minutes and you'll find out, blah, blah, blah. No, I literally dropped a sample of my pee. And boom, like that, I was, like, pregnant. And I did all 7 of them. And I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, like I'm really pregnant. So I was like, how am I gonna tell Brian? Because Brian wasn't really sure at that time. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then we ate Lifesavers the night before that, and we love Lifesavers. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I bought Lifesavers and like I'm gonna put them in there. But I used the one that was already opened. So I put it in there. I went to go pick him up, and I was like, here, I got you some Lifesavers. He opens it up, and they all go psh, like, oh my god, like, he was like, oh my god, that's crazy, yay, like, it was fun and everything. And then after that, actually after we found out we were pregnant, we were like, okay, we gotta go to the doctor. So we at that time I didn't have insurance because I was in between jobs. I was going from Best Buy to T-Mobile. And I didn't have insurance at that time, so I was like, okay, we're gonna go to this clinic. They had like this mini clinic that's free pregnancies. So we went there, and the following day, and I took a test, and again, we did not have to wait those 2 minutes. The nurse was like, oh, we just have to wait 3 to 4 minutes, and she's like, dropped my pee on the test, and she was like, nope, we didn't have to wait. Like as soon as it pee, boom, you're pregnant. Oh my god. So then I made a week after that, I made an appointment for sonogram. I do my sonogram, and they're like, oh, you're about 2 to 3 months. And I'm like, oh my god, like, this is crazy. Like, I'm 2 to 3 months. Like, I wasn't taking care of myself, like, how I should have. So I was worried, like, is the baby okay? Is she fine? Like, the doctor was like, yeah, she's fine. You just gotta get insurance, get checked, and go to the doctors and get checked. So I was like, okay. So I talked to my manager, and my manager was just like, yeah, like, we'll help you out, just call this number. And then boom, in a week after that, I got insurance. I got the doctor I wanted. It was awesome. Cool beans. It was just cool. So then telling my parents was just the scary thing. So how I told my parents, so I told my dad on Thanksgiving. We were at my aunt's house, and it was like everybody was sitting in the living room. So I was sitting next to my dad, and I was like, I kid you not, I literally took out my phone, and I was like, I showed him my phone. I'm like, look, Dad. And he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a sonogram. And I showed him a picture of a sonogram, and I was like, he's like, no. I was like, yeah, I'm having a baby. I'm 3 months pregnant. And he's like, okay, like, what? No, like, and he gave me that whole speech of, you know how Hispanic dads are like, oh, you destroyed your life, blah, 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 like, you're so young. And, like, he didn't talk to me for, like, a couple weeks. And then he got over it. Like, it was just awkward. Like, my whole pregnancy was just awkward with my dad. And then, I'm telling my mom, I call my mom, like, Mom, I have to tell you something. She's like, what, you're pregnant? And, like, oh, I don't get why all parents, like, have to assume the worst. Like, they always have to assume the worst. And that's the first thing she said when I called her. I was like, guess what? And she was like, what, you're pregnant? And I'm like, oh my god. Like, I was like, yeah. She's like, why? And then she gave me a speech as well. And I was just, ugh. So then, after telling my parents, like, my parents didn't really talk to me. My mom did. She would, like, call and check up on me. Now I'm recording. Babe, I'm doing a video when we found out we were pregnant. Aren't you excited?
No. Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
You weren't excited to find out that we're having a baby?
Yeah.
Tell them, babe. Tell them your experience, how you felt when you found out you were having Emery.
I love you.
Emery, how did you feel in my stomach? Were you excited? Okay. Were you excited to come out to meet the world? Yeah? Okay.
Besito, papi? Besito, papi? Oh.
But, anyways, through the pregnancy, the beginning of the months was just bad. Like I said, like throwing up. It was just really bad. Everything made me nauseous. But then May came around. May 16, I woke up around 6:30 probably. To use the restroom because I always have to use the restroom in the bath early in the morning, and I was like, oh, I gotta go use the bathroom. And I kid you not, I could not get out of bed because my stomach was so huge. I gained 30 pounds and I was 90 pounds, so I gained a lot. So it was really hard. Like, my back was really bad. Like, my back still hurts, like, sometimes. But it was bad. Like, so Brian had to get me up. Like, I'd be like, help me, like I'll be like, help me up. Like, he would get up and he'll be like, like he'll put me on like an old lady. And I was just like, okay. So I went to use the bathroom. I came back to bed, and then I was like, oh, I have to use the bathroom again. So, but I mean, I came back from the bathroom and I sat down. I went back into the bed. Like, Brian got up. He went to use the bathroom as well. And while I don't know, I wanted to go use the bathroom again, but Brian was using the bathroom, so I just rushed and I was like, Brian, I have to use the bathroom. And I was just standing there. I was like, I have to use the bathroom. Like, I have to pee. And then all I hear is, my water broke. And I was like, Brian was like, he was using the bathroom. Like, he was like, what the heck? Like, what? Like, he was half asleep. He was like, what? And I was just like, uh-oh. And my brother, he was in the living room. So my brother, so Brian, like, gets, like Brian, seriously, like, after he used the bathroom, he was like, he ran to my brother. He's like, we're having a baby. My brother was just like, calm down. Like, I had so many false alarms through my pregnancy. Like, I had like two false alarms. Like, I went to the hospital because I had really bad cramps. Like, and yeah, so my brother was like, calm down, and I just rushed into the bathroom. I was shaving everywhere. Like, I was just like shaving because I hate in the hospital how they put the stick, like the IV and everything, and I'm so hairy. Like, I don't know if you can see, I'm like really hairy, and like, oh my god, like, I hate when they like take it off. They're like, and I'm like, oh, it hurts. So yeah, after that, after I shaved everything, I was like, okay. And I told Brian, I was in the bathroom. I was like, Brian, call the doctor. And then we called Yamel, and Yamel came to pick us up. And we all went to the hospital. And yeah, they received me there. I was in labor for probably 16 to 17 hours. My doctor originally told me I was supposed to have her normal, and then the doctor that was on call told me, no, you can't have this baby normal. Like, you can't, like, because Emery was too big. Like, Emery at seven months, she was 6 pounds already at 7 months. So and like, my water broke at 6:30 in the morning. Like, it just broke. Like, Emery didn't have any water, so my stomach literally was like deformed. Like, it was like this. Like, you could see the baby. And my mom, she was in Boston. We called her at 7. I was like, Mom, I'm having the baby. And she came at 2 or 3, and she was already there. and she saw like my stomach was just deformed. And that after that, at 4:17 a.m. I had my beautiful baby girl, Emery. It was probably the best moment in my life, hearing her cry for the first time. It was just, I just cried. I was really sad though, because I wanted to have skin to skin. I was looking forward to having her natural, so I was so excited to have skin to skin with her, but I couldn't because I had an emergency C-section. So yeah. So Emery was born at 4:17 a.m. She was 10 pounds. I had a 10-pound baby and 22 inches long. So yeah, that was my story of how I found out I was pregnant, how me and Babe a little bit met, a little bit of my labor and delivery. Just a little story time of how Emery came about. And so yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.
20 minutes later.
Oh yeah! Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Push that red button and subscribe, please.